answers!
I want the truth!
Are you sure?
I'd have to say, a sphincter says what? What? A sphincter says what? What? Exactly.
So are you ready for the top 5 movies of 1992?
Yes, finally. This was very difficult.
Yes, as
there was
always.
so many good movies. And the ones that I picked, I even had a hard time putting them in order.
Oh,
I must
wow.
have rearranged it like multiple times.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and I even watched some of them again to get a better idea.
Cool. Okay, so you're very prepared.
Yeah, well, now I don't know if I'm not prepared, but the thing is, this was like very difficult for me this year.
Okay. Well, I think you started last time, so I'll start with my 5.
Okay.
This may be on your list. I don't know, but it's Scent of a Woman.
Now,
Okay. Yeah. This
I
one.
figured you would have it because you did it one time before. I don't remember which one.
I don't know. I don't remember talking about this, but yeah, this is the one that finally won Al Pacino an Academy Award for Best Actor.
You did it on the Al Pacino one.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, he was amazing as the blind former Marine that is basically like no one in his family likes him, and he has this kid kind of supposedly to take care of him and watch him while the rest of the family's away. And it gets a little crazy. You know, they drive a Ferrari, which Pacino drives a little bit too, and they kind of take a road trip. And there's some really iconic, memorable scenes, which I wouldn't rank this. You know, it's funny. A lot of people end up winning Academy Awards for not necessarily their best movie, but performance-wise, he was amazing, especially in the scene where they're having dinner with his family and it gets really tense and they're being mean to each other. And of course, he keeps saying hoo-ah throughout the movie. And then in that scene, he does like a sad hoo-ah. Because they're being mean to him. But it's a great, like, he's, you know, I can't remember the other actor's name, Chris O'Donnell, and he kind of ends up being a father figure to him and mentoring him in various ways, you know, meeting women and helping him with his school issues, which looking back like weren't that big a deal in the movie, but it made for good drama. So
yeah, that was one movie that I really never even saw.
Really?
That was the other dilemma with this year. There was a lot of good movies that I didn't even see.
Okay. Well, yeah, you got to add that to your list. It's worth seeing for Pacino's performance alone.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one that I didn't get around to until years later as well. So what's your number 5?
My number 5 is a movie that we've mentioned before also. I don't remember, you know, which one we were doing when we did it. Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Okay. Yeah, didn't make my list, but that's a good one.
Yeah, a really good cast. Gary Oldman, Winona Ryder, Anthony Hopkins, Keanu Reeves, Gary Elway.
Yeah.
You know, from Princess Bride fame.
Great cast. Yeah. And he really kind of stuck to the book. The Bram, that's why he called it Bram Stoker's Dracula.
I was gonna ask you because I know you read the book.
Yeah, it had been a while in between reading it and watching the movie, but yeah, it seemed like he did kind of stick with especially the order of the story. For some reason, though, it seemed like he focused more on the love connection between Oldman and Winona Ryder in the movie.
Right, who was Keanu Reeves' fiance.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember Keanu Reeves, like his accent was terrible in the movie, but overall it was good. And you know, Francis Ford Coppola, it's no Godfather, but it was definitely one of his probably one of his top 5 movies, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it won like 3 Academy Awards. Most of it was for, makeup and scenery and that type of thing. None of the actors won Academy Awards in the movie, but it's probably the de facto Dracula movie, at least based on what Bram Stoker thought Dracula, who
Yeah.
Dracula was.
Yeah, they even had the Renfield character who was great, and then yeah, Anthony Hopkins, of course, was awesome in the
Yeah,
movie, playing the doctor. What's his name? I can't remember, but
Van
yeah,
Helsing.
Van Helsing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So cool, good stuff, good pick. So my number 4, I can almost guarantee, is not on your list, and
It's a Woody Allen movie.
no. I would venture to say worse. It's Wayne's World.
Ah, yes, Wayne's World. Wayne's World, Wayne's World. No, it did not make my list.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't watched it in a long time, but I'm sure if I rewatched it now, it wouldn't be as good. But
I know you forced me to watch it when you were a kid.
Mike Myers and Dana Carvey doing their Saturday Night Live roles, which I do think that the movie, like I never thought that it was that funny on Saturday Night Live when they would do the skit, but I thought the movie, them getting out of the basement and like having this whole plot where they're supposed to get their own cable access show, it opened it up to have more hijinks and do more fun setups for things. And Rob Lowe, as always, plays a really good jerk in the movie, so he's kind of the villain of the show. And yeah, there's a lot of other great cameos. Brian Doyle Murray playing the executive who's like clueless, and they're making fun of him on the set of the show, with the sphincter says what. And so stupid. All the jokes are incredibly stupid, and that's why you gotta love it. So
Very good.
nothing else to say about that one.
No, only that you forced me to watch it.
So what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Unforgiven.
Another good choice.
Yeah. Clint Eastwood, also directed by Clint Eastwood, for which he won the Academy Award.
Yep.
A lot of good actors. Gene Hackman plays this guy, little Billy Daggett, and he was like the sheriff of this town. The whole premise of the movie was that these 2 cowboys came in, went to the whorehouse. One of them got embarrassed by one of the prostitutes, and he slashed her up. So Daggett, the sheriff, didn't really satisfy the prostitutes, for compensating them for. He let them go, and they were only supposed to bring 7 horses back, to the owner of the thing.
Right.
So they hire bounty hunters to track them down and kill them.
Yeah.
And Clint Eastwood's character was a bad gunslinger in his early days. Now he's a pig farmer with 2 kids, and his wife passed and stuff like that, who set him on the straight and narrow.
Right.
So he gets asked to help out, with the assassines of the 2 cowboys.
Yeah, and Morgan Freeman is really good in this.
Yeah, so he's Clint Eastwood's friend, another farmer
Yep.
in the area. So it also turns out, so it's like a double revenge movie. They're hired to revenge for the prostitutes, and Freeman gets killed by Daggett, and then Eastwood is his revenge.
Right. But yeah, the heart of the movie is kind of like the whole internal struggle of Eastwood trying to be on the straight and narrow.
Yes, and
all
then
that.
at the end, he comes back to where he was again.
Right. Yeah. Great Western, even though I'm not like that big of a Western guy.
Yeah, nobody really is. It's like very few Westerns have ever won an Academy Award.
That's true, yeah. But yeah, he did a great job with that one, and really kind of, I mean, he had already directed some movies at that point, but that kind of set him off on his directing trajectory, which was just everything was great after that.
He's made, in the future, future from where we are now in 92 to to the present. I mean, he's directed some really terrific movies.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, great pick. So my number 3, I'm hoping might also be on your list, but I'm not sure. It is My Cousin Vinny.
Yes.
Ah, right.
But I had him higher.
All right. Okay, cool. Yeah, great comedy. Joe Pesci is, as always, amazing. And the rest of the cast.
Right. That was one of the movies that I rewatched.
Ah, okay.
Because obviously the scene that you remember, the most memorable scene, is when his girlfriend is on the witness stand, and she's identifying why it's a Pontiac versus
Marissa Tomei was amazing in the movie. I think she won an Academy Award for it, actually. Yeah, she was great as what's her name, Mona Lisa Vito or something. Her accent's amazing in it, and just
her Brooklyn accent.
Yeah.
Which I think was a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, she pretty much steals the movie, which is hard to do from someone like Pesci. But
and Pesci was great. Another great scene that I completely forgot about was when Pesci goes to the jail,
right,
to talk to them, right, and Macchio is asleep, so he's talking to the accomplice to the so-called murderer and stuff like that. And like he's thinking that Pesci's going to take sexual advantage of him, and the way that the dialogue is going back and forth, it is
classic.
like really amazing. It was really good.
Yeah, it was great.
And then, of course, Gwyn, the judge.
Oh, he's awesome.
Right.
What the hell is a Ute? The two Utes. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Used.
Oh, man. And even the other lawyers are great. The stuttering lawyer that they bring in, the district attorney.
I mean, the whole movie was really terrific. And and I did have it lower originally, but after seeing it again, I raised it up.
Yeah, it never gets old. Like there's even like quotes you wouldn't think of, like the prosecuting attorney. He asked someone on the stand if the tire marks were identical, and they say yes, identical, and he goes identical.
The way he was communicating with the jury, like all those things where he emphasized it, just like
and then the whole thing, like Pesci, one of the things that helps him is like how long it takes to cook a grit, like all the Southern references.
How he's like, because he was always like trying to find out how somebody was tricking him. And and then he would do he had that example with the musician. at somebody's wedding or something, and
Mm.
you see, I know how you did that, you know, like,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
exactly.
that was his forte. So like every witness the prosecutor brought up, he would like, you
Yeah,
know,
he'd figure out
say,
their
well,
angle.
that's wrong because, yeah, this and that. So,
Yeah.
you know, it was like everybody in the movie was like really, really good.
Yeah, and what about the when he got his stuff all muddy, like all the bits with him like being woken up by the cattle and the train, and then he's got to wear that red like velvet suit. It's so great.
Yeah. The judge, are you mocking this court?
Right? Yeah. I love
Because
it, man.
he had to wear a certain tie, and then it got a
Yeah,
little muddy and stuff
exactly.
like in the mud when they were like, he had to push the car out of the mud, and he was
Classic.
late to begin with.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
It's
it
so
was like the
great.
judge is waiting and he's tapping, you
Yeah.
know.
Oh yeah. I love it. I could watch it anytime. So what's your number 3?
Uh, my number 3 was, and I'm pretty sure you have it on your list, A Few Good Men.
Yes, it's my number 2.
Yeah, so we switched them.
Oh, okay. So you got Vinny at 2?
Yes,
Okay, cool. Another great courtroom. This one
yes,
more of a drama, but yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Good year for courtroom movies.
yeah, yeah. This one was a little bit more serious.
Just a tad, yeah.
Yeah,
But another great cast: Tom Cruise,
right,
Jack Nicholson,
right,
Kevin Bacon, Kiefer Sutherland, Demi
right.
Moore, Kevin Pollak.
Yeah,
The list goes on
you
and
get them
on.
all. Yeah, and yeah, so it's like to do a code red on this guy Santiago that they
Yep.
were going to ship someplace else. You know, so he did a code red on him because he ratted on somebody
Yeah.
for shooting a gun in the Cuban zone. You know, that might cause a problem.
Right. Yeah, the whole thing, I mean, it essentially comes down to like abuse of power
Yeah,
by these higher ups, because the Marines basically feel like they can do anything because they're protecting us. And Nicholson really conveys that perfectly. And then, of course, you know, the big ending, "You can't handle the truth." That
yeah.
scene is what
And
everyone
that's the
always
scene that
remembers.
everybody remembers.
But really, the whole build up to it, the whole movie is great. The way that, you know, they feel like they're getting a hold on the case, but then the bottom drops out when you know, the other guy, he was going to testify, but then he kills himself because he feels terrible about it, Markinson. So they, you know, then they have to just go with their gut feeling of like, can we get this guy to admit it on the stand?
Yeah,
And yeah, great courtroom
and they
drama.
do. They just press his buttons enough.
Yep. And
Yeah,
if they hadn't got him to admit it, he could have, you know, basically been court-martialed and lost his whole career. But yeah, Tom Cruise does it again.
right.
So yeah, great pick. So my number 2. So so now we interesting. So I don't know what your 1 is.
I know. I don't
So
know what your number 1 is.
mine is another one that I've seen it like a million times and I could watch it anytime. It's got a little bit of everything, and it is Sneakers.
Sneakers.
Yes.
I remember Sneakers. Yeah.
So that obviously was not your number 1 then.
No, it was not my number
Okay.
1.
But yeah, I mean, talk about a cast, man. Robert Redford, Sidney Poitier, Dan Aykroyd, River Phoenix, this whole team of guys that were all kind of like ex-spies that are now working to help people, essentially to break into banks to test the bank security. But they end up getting blackmailed essentially by these other operatives who are after this little black box that can kind of break any code. So it's this whole spy mission to get this black box, and help the government to get it, which it had I love the whole ending with James Earl Jones as like the head of the American government. But then the villain of Ben Kingsley, he's so good in it as well, who used to be the friend of Redford's character. So there's a lot going on, but there's a ton of comedy throughout, and there's also it's like action, adventure, drama. The stakes are very high when they have to break into that building and go really slow to not set off the cameras and the alarms and all this stuff. All the preparation they do. The blind character who's able to hear and figure out where he was going based on the sound of the trunk in the car. And then the character that they steal his the girl has to go on a date with this guy to get him to say all these words and use it to get in. I mean, it's just so much cool stuff in the movie. I had to have it as my number one.
Wow.
So yeah. So it didn't even make your list. I can't believe it.
Yeah, Secrets didn't make my list.
So what's your number one?
My number one is The Last of the Mohicans.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And like you, I can watch this movie anytime. And like history buff.
Yep.
I like watching movies, history movies. When I was a kid, I was brought up on Daniel Boone television, Davy Crockett television.
Yeah.
So this takes place during the French and Indian War. Story was written by Fenimore Cooper, James Fenimore Cooper. But I never read the book, but I would think that this story is as close to his book as as any of them that came before this. This is probably the de facto Last of the Mohicans.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And Daniel Day-Lewis was, of course, as always, amazing.
Right. And Madeline Stone played the romance interest.
Yeah.
You had the French, you had the Indians, you had the British,
A lot going on. Yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis and his adopted father, Chinglish Cook, as trappers and stuff. And as the story is opening, there was like some Indian uprisings in the area. They went to the fort, to tell the other settlers who were helping the British out, that they should get back to their families so they could protect them. So obviously the fort commander didn't appreciate that because he was already losing the battle.
Right.
And the fort ultimately surrendered, and then they were let out under a truce that nothing would happen to them. And then the Indians massacred them because the scout that turned on them, Magua, his whole family and everybody was massacred by the commander of that fort.
Yeah.
So he falls in love with the commander's daughter. It's played by Madeline Stowe. And then they escape. The Indians are after them. And then like everything, goes on from there. I don't want to go like through the whole story, but this is a story of basically nobody wins in this thing.
Yeah.
Mostly everybody that was in this movie died, no matter how evil or how good they were. And the people that are left lost somebody that they loved.
Yeah. I just remember the decapitation at the end. That was that was always nice. Of the was it the Mogwai guy? But
Yeah.
yeah, good stuff. Kind of a good revenge movie
Yeah,
as
I mean,
well.
there was like a lot of sad things, like when Madeline Stowe's sister,
Hmm.
you know, she was in love with Chena Koch's son,
Right.
and he got killed protecting her. So then she did that dramatic scene, where she just falls off the cliff, you
Yeah, yeah,
know, back. I did that scene just of her falling
yeah.
back
Right.
to the thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Very, really well filmed movie for sure.
yeah, it was.
Who was
Yeah,
the director on that?
uh, Michael Mann.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's
Yeah,
crazy to think he
but
did that.
the
Yeah.
thing was too, is like the soundtrack
Hmm.
was
Yeah.
really good.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, great
uh,
epic movie.
yeah.
So this is going to be tough because so as you were giving your synopsis, I looked up so Last of the Mohicans has a 3.6 which beats out Sneakers by zero point 0.1. But the question becomes, do we have those at our 1 and 2? Because we had Vinny and Few Good Men as our 2s and 3s on both our lists.
Right.
I almost feel like they should be 1 and 2. But then here's the funny part with that. So on Letterboxd, Vinny and Few Good Men both have a 3.8. So I had to go to IMDb, and A Few Good Men beats it also by 0.1, 7.7 to 7.6. So what I'm thinking is A Few Good Men at 1, Vinny at 2, then Mohicans at 3, and Sneakers at 4.
Okay, so now it's 5.
Now let's see. It's between our number 4s, which was yours was Unforgiven, and mine is Wayne's World. I can guarantee that Unforgiven has the higher score. Let's see.
Yeah, I think it's like 4.2 or something.
Yeah, 4.1. Yeah, there's no way that Wayne's World has a 4 point anything.
I would expect that to be 5.0.
Yeah, and monkeys might fly out of my butt, as Wayne would say. 3.5.
3.5.
So yeah.
That's a lot higher than I thought it would be.
Yeah, me too. All right. So before we read off this list, what was your honorable mention?
My honorable mention was Batman Returns.
Ah, okay. Yeah. Tim Burton directed.
Yeah, Burton directed it. Of course, there was a new Batman in this one.
Yep.
There were, and it didn't have Jack Nicholson, so they had to throw 3 other people in it.
Right. Danny DeVito as
Right,
Penguin
as
and
Penguin, Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman,
right.
and what was his name?
I thought those were the only 2 villains in that one, but maybe
No, well, yeah, but the other villain was damn, I can't remember his name.
well, Christopher Walken was in it. I
Yeah,
know that.
that's who. He was
Okay.
the villain.
Right.
He was like, he was going to suck the electricity out of
Oh, right.
Gotham so that he could have his own. And then he pushed Michelle Pfeiffer out the window.
That's right.
So she
Yeah.
was out to kill him. And
Yeah.
then he was also bankrolling Penguin to keep causing problems in Gotham.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. Okay.
Yeah, and this is like, and Penguin, was born,
Mm-hmm.
with
Deformed.
mutations.
Yeah, yeah.
Abnormal, abnormal.
Right.
And then, so he was thrown in a sewer. He was raised by penguins.
Right. A little far-fetched, but yeah, it was well done. Before the whole renewal of Batman series
Yeah.
later
The
on.
thing that this one lacked, that the first one didn't, was there wasn't really any quips.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Jack Nicholson with all his quips coming out and stuff like that, all those little things.
Yeah.
The wonderful toys.
Yeah, right. That's true. Yeah, I can't remember many lines from Batman Returns, but it was a little bit
really
of darker. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was still good. Yeah. So my honorable mention is another Al Pacino movie, Glengarry Glen Ross.
That is a movie that I never saw.
Oh man, you need to see that one too.
Yeah.
It's based on a play. So it's all mostly just takes place in this office, but the dialogue is really good. And just for the Alec Baldwin scene alone is classic. Like the way he comes in and tells them always be selling or whatever the line is. But the cast is great. Jack Lemmon, Ed Harris, Kevin Spacey, Pacino, and they're all trying to outsell each other in this real estate. It's kind of like this cutthroat movie about, whoever wins a Cadillac or something. But yeah, it's like in the hands of lesser actors, it probably wouldn't be anything that special. But all these guys were really solid in the movie. So yeah, it's worth checking out for sure.
And there were other great movies that year that we didn't even mention.
Yeah, I think you had mentioned Basic Instinct came out that year. I mean, that was a really good one. So many good movies. Yeah.
Yeah. They'll teach people not to cheat on anybody.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, never have an ice pick near your bed. But all right, so now let's read off the top 5 movies of 1992 according to 3 and 4. At number 5, Unforgiven. At number 4, Sneakers. At number 3, The Last of the Mohicans. At number 2, My Cousin Vinny. And at number 1, A Few Good Men. Yeah. Good list. Yeah, I could easily rewatch all those.
Yeah, I know. It's just like, and you could easily reorder those movies too.
Oh, yeah. It'd be fun if one of these times, whenever we see each other in person again, after our top 5, we go watch all 5 movies in a row. I don't think we've ever watched that many movies in one day. But we've probably done like 3 in a row before. Well, I know we have.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, that'd be a lot of popcorn.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, stay tuned for next episode, top 5 movies of 1993. Another great year. The 90s were great, man. So many epics. And
I mean, this was like very difficult.
Oh yeah.
To pick it. Like I said, I changed the order more than once, more than twice.
Exactly. So, all right. Well, stay tuned for next time. Watch our other movies. You can binge watch from 1975 to where we are now. And yeah, see you on the next one. Love you.
Love you too.
All right. Bye.